Welcome everyone to reduce complexity and improve performance with Nutanix and Azure. We have a very demo-heavy session for you today, very good for a Thursday after a lot of slides and a lot of talking points. As the title implies, we're going to talk about the intersection of Nutanix technology with Microsoft Azure. We're also going to focus on some key use cases around virtual desktops, so VDI, as well as SQL Server. My name is Mike McGee. I'm a technical marketing engineer with Nutanix. We're also lucky to have a pair of Daves with us today. We have David Karam, who's a technical manager with Giant Eagle. He's a customer of ours. He's going to talk about how they evaluated Nutanix and made their decisions. We also have Dave Reber with us. He's with Nutanix Frame, and he's going to take you through some of Frame technology along with Azure. Now, before we get to the Daves and before we get to the demos, I wanted to do a quick level set of Nutanix, and I just wanted to do a quick product overview because we've grown over the years. Many of you may be familiar with us within one specific space, but we've grown our product portfolio both internally and via acquisition. So I want to make sure we're all on the same page with the full suite of products and really what we consider the foundation for enterprise clouds that we offer today. So to start out, if we focus on hyperconverged infrastructure, this is most likely, if you are familiar with Nutanix, HCI is really where we were born and where we started. Hopefully most are familiar with HCI, but just to give you a quick overview, it's really a combination of storage, compute, and virtualization, all within a single appliance. For Nutanix, we're software defined. We work with different hardware vendors. We really focus on the software aspect of that solution, but you can picture hypervisor included, storage, a distributed storage fabric, inclusion of SSD and hard disk drives and NVMe in the same platform in a very known form factor, reducing the need for additional hardware, for example, maybe a storage area network or SAN arrays. Benefits being simplified management, simplified expansion, and really a smaller footprint for your data center, saving money on rack space, power, cooling, etc. As I mentioned, with HCI, you're most likely going to be virtualized in some way, shape, or form. We support a broad suite of virtualization vendors, whether you're using VMware or Hyper-V or even Citrix Xen Server. We do also offer our own hypervisor we call AHV. One of the reasons we developed our own hypervisor is to make it as integrated as possible within that HCI experience. So say, for example, within our distributed storage fabric, we have something called data locality, where we purposefully run VMs from the node that most likely has the majority of that virtual machine's data. Baking that into AHV, we can make sure that we do an upgrade or a migration, et cetera. We can restore that locality either from the storage perspective or by moving the VM via something called dynamic scheduling. So having integration with the hypervisor with a focus on HCI is very important and leads to a simplified environment. We also can then offer platform services on top of this substrate. So you have this single platform, you have a hypervisor, you have a distributed storage fabric, your compute is being managed, your storage is being managed. We can start to automate some services on top of that and offer that for you. So one of the services we've had for the last year and a half or so is something that we previously called AFS, or Acropolis File Services. We're now calling Files. So if you hear Nutanix Files, that's what that is. That's a distributed, highly available SMB or NFS server that you can deploy and manage with one click and through the same interface that you manage the Nutanix platform. We're doing something similar with object services, or what we called OSS initially, that we're now calling buckets. This is going to be an S3-based object service that we're going to introduce in the not too distant future, but same idea, something that you can deploy based on virtual machines onto the platform using one-click operations. One of the things we're going to focus on in more detail and provide a demo of is something new, again, coming this calendar year, and that's called Era. And again, I'll save some of the content, but Era is, you can look at as a relational database service, so something that allows you to manage your existing, say, for example, SQL Server databases via deployment, via management, but also via copy data management. So taking copies of the data and allowing you to present it to different virtual machines within your environment. But we'll get into that in a little bit more detail. All of this, as I mentioned, is going to be managed with one-click operations. This is a core tenet of what Nutanix does. We want you to be able to upgrade, expand, deploy, et cetera, these different services just by setting a few set of parameters and hitting go. And then you walk away and you come back and it'll be upgraded, expanded, that new service is available, et cetera. And we do that through our management plane via what we call Prism. So if you hear me talk or anyone else talk about Prism, that's our highly available distributed management plane that we include in combination with Acropolis. Now, when it comes to networking, we're also baking this into the Prism experience. We have something that you may have heard of called Flow. This is our native integrated network microsegmentation. So think of a distributed stateful firewall where you can configure that within the environment using the exact same interfaces you otherwise would have for your HCI, your hypervisor, and those one-click services that I mentioned before. Another aspect of our technology we're going to focus on and give a demo on within the presentation is COM. And COM is an application orchestration software. Again, it's baked into that same Prism interface, and it allows you to really blueprint your applications, customize them, and gives you the option to deploy them either on premises or to your cloud of choice. But we're going to focus on that in more detail as we go through the presentation. Now, you can imagine a lot of what I've talked about is on premises, really tied to hardware running within your data center, but we're also working towards cloud-enabled applications. One of those clouds is going to be our own cloud that we refer to as Xi. So if you hear about Xi Cloud Services, this is something that we're building out today and something that we actually have early access to right now that customers are starting to leverage. We also, via acquisition, have a VDI service that's going to be able to run in the cloud. It runs in Azure today, for example, and Dave's going to get into more detail on that specifically. But you can see how we're building up from on-premises to hybrid cloud, and a lot of these services as well are going to work with public clouds as well. So if you look at COM, if you look at Frame as well, but we also have multi-cloud services across a couple more applications. So not sure if anyone has heard of Beam. So Beam is a cost governance and also a security compliance tool that runs as a software as a service. So this is something that you can subscribe to, add your, for example, Azure Enterprise account into, and it'll give you cost visibility as well as security guidance. And we're going to go through a demo of that as well. And just this week, we're announcing Epoch. This is a new product within our family. If you've heard of Netzel, this was an acquisition that we had that we've rebranded into Epoch. And this is a software, again, a software as a service that allows you to visually map out your environment and really map out your applications over layer 7 communication. So we're not going to cover that in too much detail as it's just being announced this week, but hopefully that gives you a good idea of the suite of applications, both from on-premises into hybrid cloud management that Nutanix offers today. And like I mentioned, we're really going to focus on that intersection of where we cross and integrate with Azure, specific to Beam, COM, Frame, and then also where we integrate with SQL Server with Era. But before we get into that, we did want to cover the HCI space to a certain degree, and we're very lucky to have Dave Karam with us, and he's going to step through his experience when evaluating Nutanix and others for HCI.
Thanks, Mike. So I'm Dave Karam. I'm a technical manager at Giant Eagle Incorporated. We are a grocery store retail in the greater Pittsburgh area. So we have about 400 locations that consist of our grocery store chains, our big box chains, and also convenience stores that we call Get-Go's. And the convenience stores are gas stations and food shops kind of combined. Across our corporation, we have 36,000 team members that we employ. So my role at Giant Eagle is managing the client technologies space, and what that encompasses is anything that's team member facing, team member technology, mobile devices, and user computing, that sort of thing. So in that tier is our VDI environment. So our VDI environment, the outgoing VDI environment, is your traditional 3-tier environment. So it consists of compute, network layer, and SAN storage. All connected together to provide that solution. That solution, as you'll hear more about today, can be complicated. Our our VDI footprint is about 400 to 500 instances, and it's difficult to manage, difficult to keep on top of. And as you know, VMs are free, so people ask for VMs all the time. They consume them. They don't tell you when they're done with them. You run out of space. You have to go to the storage team, get more storage space, get it provisioned into your environment. It takes a long time to do that. That goes away in the hyper-converged space. You have a single chassis that you have your storage, compute, networking all integrated into there. You have a single team that can kind of manage that end to end once it's set up, and you're responsible for all that. And that was important to me and my team, just to be able to reduce time to deliver services to our users. The solutions that we reviewed were Nutanix, vSAN ready nodes that live on HP, and VxRail. And the solution that we landed on was Nutanix. Reason for that comes down to simplicity of use. So it was really a single IT admin on my team is able to manage via Prism, the service end to end. If we need to expand that, it's very easy to expand. We've already gone through adding some nodes to our clusters and that sort of thing. It's very simple. And for an environment like ours, probably not uncommon from a lot of yours, where you're spread very thin. You have to turn things around quickly. Keeping it simple and easy to use is paramount. The applications that we use VDI for your traditional and IT people who need a virtual machine to do some sort of specific task. We have some business users that have virtual machines where we segregate applications to keep them away from different, mitigate security risks, I should put it that way. And one specifically called for our pharmacy call center, which is session host based. So this is a situation where we have about 150 to 200 people that are in a call center in a store. They're across a WAN link, and they need to traverse several WAN links to get to a store to perform call center operations. So we have this currently running in a session host environment there, to provide for some level of expediency in their experience. What our Nutanix infrastructure looks like, like I mentioned, we have our outgoing 3-tier infrastructure. We're moving to a Nutanix hyperconverged infrastructure. It's a 6-node cluster. We are running AHV, so we tested AHV, we tested ESXi. We didn't really see a reason to go ESXi and assume that additional cost in this case to license VMware on top of that platform. I saw a lot of advantages in the roadmap that Nutanix has laid out, both with their cloud services and with Azure cloud services, and just the other solutions that the guys here will talk about in more detail today. So we went with AHV. It's working out very well for us. It's a very solid platform, so we really have zero complaints in that regard. I already mentioned there's one IT admin on my team who's able to manage that environment. So in the event that we need to expand, and that's sure to happen, we'll be able to just acquire an additional node, pop it in the cluster, and be good to go. We won't, we'll just need some IP addressing, and don't have to really involve any other members of the IT organization. The last bullet here, the ability to back up virtual machines to Azure with the Cloud Connect, I found was very cool. In our VDI environment, because we treat it as an extension of our end user computing environment, we don't back it up. We have our users, and we tell them that if they need to save data or have data otherwise available, that they need to put it into OneDrive, into SharePoint, into something else that's not locally residing on that machine, right? I don't want to get into the business of managing backups for 400 client devices. However, we have developers, what have you, that leave stuff on machines, they leave the organization, and somebody comes back in looking for a product or a project or some content that some developer at one point stored locally on that machine. You wouldn't have a way to provide for a backup for that. So with Cloud Connect, it was very easy to create what I think is called a protection zone within Prism, and apply that protection zone to the machines that we want to back up, and it just copied them up to Azure. It was very, very simple. It took some time. It creates a virtual machine instance, CVM machine instance up in Azure in that resource group. Copied the virtual machines up there, restored them back on-prem. The only latency was just the amount of time that it takes to copy the data back and forth. So to me, that was a very simple way and a low-cost way to provide backup capabilities to a desktop environment that we otherwise didn't back up. So the overall benefits that I see that I wanted to share with you were the speed of implementation from procurement to production, meaning the time that it takes to actually ship a PO to Nutanix to getting them up and running on the floor is very easy to do. Simplification of the management. Like I said, I have one IT admin on my team that's managing it. It's not an exaggeration. The team is very small, and speed of the work, it's very fast. Like Dave and Mike can get into the details here, but it's a very fast architecture. So there was an immediate speed benefit noticed by our end users once we moved to there. So that's what I have. Thanks, everybody.
Yeah, we really appreciate Dave coming on, taking time out of his conference, and being an advocate as a customer. We really, really appreciate that. All right, so Dave mentioned Cloud Connect, and that is one of our intersections with Azure. It allows you to instantiate really one of our controllers in the cloud, and then you can create, as he said, a protection zone, protection domain that allows you to replicate from on-premises into Azure. But a lot of folks want to actually deploy into Azure and do that in a hybrid manner. So in a hybrid way. So install virtual machines, run it on premises, or maybe make a decision, you know what, for this given application, I want to go ahead and run that somewhere else, maybe in Azure, maybe in AWS, et cetera. And that's really where COM comes in. So COM gives you a few main things. One is application lifecycle management, so it allows you to create these blueprints that I mentioned. It gives you self-service and governance, so you can publish these blueprints for your end users to use, and it gives you the choice of where to deploy these use cases, or really deploy these blueprints. Blueprints are very straightforward. It's really just defining a specification of the resources you want to use. Generally, this would be a virtual machine. Give it a base configuration. Also, what you want to do with that virtual machine. Do you want to, or that application? Do you want to be able to scale it? Do you want to be able to upgrade it? Do you want to be able to tear it down, et cetera? You define all that within the blueprint. And then you can customize different levels of connectivity between the applications within the blueprint, dependencies, when a sequence of events will kick off, et cetera. And those combine to really give you that blueprint between the components and the policy. It's all visually based, so I'm not going to go too much into detail of COM as you go going through and creating a blueprint. We do have a demo on this, but the idea is that you can create different layers of an application. For example, if you had a LAMP stack, or if you had a database tier, an application tier, and a web tier, you can create a blueprint, define specific tasks within that blueprint. Maybe you stand up the SQL or MySQL database or SQL Server database first. You run a package to do the installation, maybe add it to Active Directory, do specific settings for the database. When that task is done, you would then spawn off and link to another task that might begin to work on that middleware tier, the application vendor that you might be using. And then as that process completes, you can spawn that off and maybe start working on your proxies, your HA front ends, et cetera. And then if you create an expansion task or a scale task, maybe you would just scale that HA front end. And so that could be and then you can coordinate the appropriate dependencies there, maybe update your load balancer to say, hey, I've added new front end, so I need to update the load balancer, and mark that as a task within a COM. The nice thing is that you form that into a blueprint, and it becomes one item that you can provision, configure over time, scale as I mentioned, upgrade and delete. You can even roll back upgrades if you do it in a rolling fashion, and for some reason, canary in a coal mine, something didn't work, you can go ahead and have that roll back as a part of the blueprint as well. Now, once you have these blueprints, we do have a marketplace to which you can publish. We have default blueprints that we offer. You can see some of the default ones here, Kubernetes and Docker and Chef and Puppet and other items. You can publish custom blueprints, so once you create your own for your specific application needs, you can plug those in, and then you can literally publish them to specific users. So if you want a specific user to have access to some blueprints within their project and not others, you can go ahead and make that specification. And then lastly, within that project that allows your users to publish these blueprints, you can then choose where they can actually deploy them to. So whether you want them to deploy it to Nutanix on premises, or to GCP or AWS, or even better, Azure. So rather than step through more slides when it comes to COM, we're going to go ahead and do a quick demo of how to connect COM with Azure and actually do a mock deployment of a blueprint. All right, now some of the items we're talking about today are either brand new, about to be released, or to be released end of year. This functionality within COM to connect to Azure is a part of our 5.9 release, which is not out yet, but due out very soon. So we're going to step through a quick video demo of that. So what you see here is Prism Central, and within Prism Central, we're going to go ahead and click on that COM button, and this is really where it's baked in. So you go to the settings, and you can see if we hit the drop down, you get to choose what different clouds that you would want to connect to. So in this case, we're going to go ahead and select Azure. And as you can imagine, we need to create a connection between this on-premises COM instance and Azure in the cloud, and that's what we're going to step through next. So we'll go ahead and give it a name. And then we'll go into Azure Portal Resource Manager and start to bring out really the subscription IDs we need to make that combination. So we'll grab our initial Active Directory tenant ID so we can map out users. We'll go ahead and create a new application registration, and this is actually going to be COM, so we're going to point this to COM itself. So you can see we use that same URL that we're using within Prism, and that'll give us an application ID that we can then import to make that connection. Further, we can go ahead and do a private key to make sure that it's secure, give it a given duration. Go ahead and copy that in so we make sure the communication is secure between the on-premises and Azure. And then lastly, we're going to need a resource group. And this is the resource group into which COM is going to do its deployments based on this specific account and connection. So we'll go ahead and create that out, grab that subscription ID, and copy that in. So we're going to now create a role for COM to use as a part of these deployments. We'll make them a contributor within this specific resource group, and we'll be able to use this user when deploying these specific blueprints. Optionally, you can also assign availability sets. So if you want this resource group and anything deployed into this resource group to be highly available, you can go ahead and assign an availability set for that with fault domains. And we also want to make sure that we set up networking that you can choose, again, when deploying the blueprint. So we'll go ahead and add a network security group. Assign that to the resource group. Once that security group is created, we can start to set specific security rules on that group. Some of the communication that we're going to automate between ports from COM to communicate with this specific application requires SSH, so we'll open that up. This demo is also going to do a WordPress site, just to give you an example of deploying something. So we're going to go ahead and open up HTTP port 80 as well, so we can connect to it from outside. Now we'll add the actual subnets that we want to use, the actual virtual networks that we'll assign to the COM blueprint, the virtual machines that we're going to deploy. Let's go ahead and give our address range. Now we can verify all the objects we need, all the subscription IDs and Active Directory IDs we need, and now we can go ahead and kick off the creation of a project and the creation of a blueprint. So a project is essentially what you would assign to a user to define their resources. What resources do they have access to, how much, how many vCPUs, memory, et cetera. So you can restrict users on that base. And you can also choose where they can deploy it, local only, cloud only, or local and cloud. In this case, we'll just say cloud only, and we'll select that Azure demo connection specifically. Now that we have that project, we can go ahead and step through a blueprint. So we'll create a quick blueprint called demo, and again, this is just going to be a very basic configuration where we stand up an individual virtual machine, install WordPress so you can see how it can work out of the box. We'll select that COM resource group, that availability set we mentioned. We'll go ahead and say location east. We'll select the VM size, the image details. So we're pulling all this out of Azure, so it's going to be an Ubuntu server. We're going to select that specific version. Again, we're using that connection with Azure to pull down those details. We'll select the storage type, again, based on your Azure requirements. That security group that we mentioned and that virtual network that we just set up. And go ahead and provide that credential as well to perform this operation that we had before. Here's our virtual NIC. And now what we can do is actually do an additional task to do an installation package. So here we're just going to use a shell script, but you can also use PowerShell if it happens to be a Windows environment or other to run any additional tasks that you want within that virtual machine before this blueprint completes, before it finishes. You can also pass variables into this script, so this happens to be a SQL backend, a MySQL backend, so we'll go ahead and pass that variable. And now we can actually go ahead and deploy that blueprint as an application. So we gave the application a name, assigned it to the blueprint, and said go. And now you can actually audit. There's an audit trail depending on if you're doing an installation or say an expansion. So you can see all the steps within the blueprint. We're hopping into that resource group to see the VM begin to be commissioned. But you can see just speeding up the demo, obviously, to install the virtual machine. You can see those tasks that the package just ran to actually run that script to do the WordPress site. But ultimately, you can see the virtual machine be deployed. And here's the DNS entry for it, and there's the WordPress app. So really soup to nuts from having zero connection to Azure to creating a project, to creating a blueprint and deploying it. And obviously that demo was sped up, but very, very short amount of time from begin to end. All right, so that covers COM. So now you're deploying instances into Azure. You might have existing resource groups and services that you're already using. And now maybe you want to start monitoring these items that you already have, monitoring these resource groups, monitoring what's running in Azure, or maybe monitoring what you might have in other clouds, or even what you have on premises. And that's where Beam comes into play. And you can look at Beam as really two main things. It has a cost module and a compliance module. Both of these modules are going to give you visibility into the cost and visibility into your compliance based on several hundred checks that it can do to validate, do you have SSH open to the world, or do you have things that aren't being used, et cetera. You can also optimize those resources. So if you're inefficient in your cost, if things aren't being used, if things can be optimized based on current usage patterns, you can use Beam to discover that and optimize it. We'll either give you the steps to optimize, or in some cases give you a one-click fix depending on your cloud. And it really gives you control over doing that. And there's budgetary items as well. It allows you to do this across different groups and projects. So for example, with Azure, if you have an enterprise account, every subscription will show up within Beam, and we'll see that in a second, so you can manage that in a multi-tenant fashion and just assign those project teams to have access to the resources that they're using, so they'll get that same visibility that an administrator at a higher level would. It also applies to multiple clouds, like I mentioned, on premises as well, and across your applications. But rather than step through more slideware on Beam, why don't we go ahead and step through a quick demo. So you can see here I'm connected to Beam. This is really a software as a service. This is a site that you would go to. It actually just got refreshed with a brand new version as of this week. So new features actually showed up while I was practicing this demo. One of those new features that just showed up is this global view right here. So if I go ahead and click on the global view, this is going to give those with access a full administrative view of all the clouds that are running and the cost therein. So you can see for total cloud spend, and this particular view is for this month. Most of that is actually going to one cloud versus another. You can also see trends over time. You can also see your top accounts, like which of these subscriptions or sub-accounts are really the highest cost, for example. You can also see your spend efficiency. There's some efficiency we can get with Azure that we'll step through as we go. And you can also break it down by service. So at this level, at this global dashboard level, it's really broken down to compute and storage and database, but you get even more granular when you break into the actual cloud that you're focusing on itself. So we'll go ahead and go over to Azure, and we'll click on this EA account. And like I mentioned, you can see you have the enterprise account, but then you have all the subscriptions therein as well, and you can assign access based on those subscriptions as needed. So we'll go ahead and click on that. And like I mentioned, this is where you start to get more granular within that specific account. So I can see my subscriptions across those different groups, like I mentioned. If I want to break down into services, this is where we get real granular into where is everything going between virtual machine storage, Azure database, security center, data services, et cetera. So you can really see which services are being consume the most. You can further look at your projected spend. So if you want to see what you're doing now, but maybe, you know what, I want to see what it's going to be happening for, the next month. So I can go ahead and apply that filter, and I can see, you know what, maybe we're, based on the previous few months, I'm starting to ramp down, and you start to get forecasting. So understanding where you're going with respect to your cloud spend. Is it going up in a linear fashion, or are we, flat, et cetera? Once you get that understanding, you can start to determine, hey, what if I want to save? What if I want to save on the efficiency in the environment? Do I have things that aren't being used at all? So we would want to eliminate those. Or do I have items that are inefficient, meaning that maybe I'm not using as much CPU memory or storage as I might otherwise? So we'll give you a spend efficiency rating, if you will. So we're almost 90% efficient here, but there is potential savings. And we give you this view on a daily basis. So this would be a daily savings number. So for example, if I wanted to eliminate some of these costs, I can come in here and say, oh, you know what, I got a bunch of unused disks, and we'll actually give you the detail of what those are, and you can break down into, I need to remove this disk that's not being used, et cetera. That's a terabyte in size. If it's not about eliminating and more about optimizing, you can go to optimize, and you can see here I have underutilized virtual machines. I can actually break down and see, all right, this is the BS series, B2MS, and maybe I can just do a standard B2S based on the current workload trends that Beam is detecting. You can also configure these checks if you want. If you want to determine, hey, what you consider efficient by default, I don't. Therefore, you can actually configure the policy and define how long is unused, how underutilized is underutilized, et cetera. So you can customize that. So that's cost governance in a nutshell. To focus on the security compliance module, this is where we break down and look at various checks that are running within the environment. So you can see the dashboard here. I think we have over 240 checks by default that run as a part of the default policy. We do have some default templates that allow you to say do HIPAA checks or PCI DSS checks. So if you have those kinds of requirements in your environment, you can monitor that over time. If we go to US East here, it seems like we have quite a few compliance things that we need to remediate. We'll break that out for you and give you examples of exactly what you need to do. So we have some infrastructure security problems, disk termination protection check, and we'll actually tell you, hey, if you want to fix this, here are the steps that you would run within Azure to go ahead and fix it. We do have a one-click optimize as well that would allow you to fix it. Currently that works with AWS, but we're looking to use that with Azure as well. So to even automate it even further and do these steps for you to help you with both cost optimization, but also with respect to security and compliance. Like I mentioned, you can further configure these alerts. So if you just wanted to run a subset, you can also create custom alerts depending on your clouds as well. You can run custom Python scripts if you wanted to create specific security audit policies that we might not otherwise offer as a default. All right, and hopefully that gives you a quick overview of Beam from both a cost compliance and security compliance module perspective. So now you've deployed to the cloud, you're starting to monitor the cloud, but maybe you now want to start to focus on some specific applications, say for example, virtual desktop. So to get into that in more detail, I want to bring up Dave Reber to talk about Nutanix Frame.
Thank you, Mike. So pleasure to be here and be able to talk to you a little bit about Nutanix Frame. So just over a month ago, Nutanix acquired Frame. And many people have been asking us on the show floor, want to hear a little bit more, so we wanted to be able to give you kind of a quick demonstration of the capabilities that and how we're kind of working with the Nutanix family. So to tell you a little story, a little over 6 years ago with our founders, they were faced with a problem. How do you deliver high performance compute to an end user's desktop, that last mile delivery, but only use a web browser? That was the time where Azure AWS was really starting to come alive, get GPUs in the cloud to be able to take advantage of, but they were doing video exploitation, and how do they deliver a high quality experience, but their end consumers, all they wanted was a web browser. So that's where Frame was born, was looking at how can I run any Windows software and all I need is an HTML5 compliant web browser. So when you look at that and kind of at a quick glance of the capabilities that the platform has evolved to over the years is first and foremost being able to deliver our own remoting protocol that was purpose-built for the cloud. So how do we take advantage of hyperscale cloud technology to deliver that and take advantage of that high-performance compute? At that same time, H.264 video encoding was taking over. And you had an HTML5 was becoming prevalent and supported by every browser that we could fully take advantage of. Over the years, we've been able to support both app mode and full desktop mode from your cloud-based resources, depending on your users' needs and what they're comfortable with. We're able to take advantage of CPU and GPU instance types in the cloud, pretty much anything available, except for those instance types that can't even run Windows or a graphics operating system. But for the most part, you're able to take advantage of every single instance that's available. We natively support cloud service integrations such as Dropbox, Google Drive, and OneDrive support coming very soon. And we've also started to release an early access Linux support for applications as well. Now, some customers that come to us say, hey, I really love your protocol. I just want to install the VNC client equivalent. But Frame is a lot more than that. In addition to creating our own remoting protocol to deliver these capabilities, we also have an entire cloud orchestration backend. So without ever logging into an Azure console, you can take full advantage of any Azure data center worldwide to deliver VDI and streaming applications to your end users. We completely do an abstraction layer to make it simple for you. We also provide the ability to do profiles persistence. We give you analytics to take advantage of only paying for what you use and know how to do your capacity management to balance performance and cost for your end users, because cloud can get expensive if you're running tons and tons of desktops when you don't actually need to use them at that time. So a little bit about how Frame works, and then I'll jump right into a demo. So the way it works is you get an account. You can bring your own AWS and Azure subscription. So if you're getting discounts with Microsoft for your Azure-based workloads, you can take advantage of that pricing and costing you're getting as part of your enterprise agreements. So you bring that and you can connect that into our backend. Then you provision an account. So an account is synonymous with what we call a sandbox. Today it's a Windows 2012 R2 server with support for Windows 2016 coming very soon. Once you're in that sandbox, you install any Windows application just like you normally would. You bring your standard installers because you have full access to that capability or to that operating system to configure it, lock it down, whatever you want, and you install those workloads. At the time, you also pick the data centers of your choosing. So if you have users in Europe or the US, wherever there's an Azure data center, you can provision those capabilities. You then figure out how you want to authenticate your users. Today we have support for SAML 2 and OAuth integrations. You can bring ADFS, Azure AD, and connect right in so you can have one identity source for those users coming in. You then figure out how you connect them into their files, whether you want cloud storages, you want to support any other on-prem storage, SMB mounts. That's what we can help you configure that for those workloads. And then after that, you click one button called Publish that I'll show you. What publishing does is it takes that sandbox and we stamp out Azure instances up to your production capacity. So if you want to support 10,000 users, we handle the entire cloud orchestration to spin those instances up, and we make them all ephemeral. So one of the big use cases that people come to us is I have developers. Developers want all of their fancy tools. They always mess up with my images because they want to install all this stuff. What we're able to do is give you a developer platform. You install your IDEs and all your tools and capabilities. When they use the session, those developers have access to install those tools and capabilities to do their job for the day. But as soon as they log out, all of those changes are eradicated and you go right back to Gold Master right from the beginning. And then to layer on the cloud portion, if you want to support 5 developers in a pilot today, but want to scale to 10,000 tomorrow, you change one variable, click one button, and it's done. And at the speed of which Azure can replicate those instances, you now have an increased production capacity. So I just went through those slides, and what we're going to do now is hop right into a demo to show you the power of what we're able to deliver with Frame. So what you see here is Google Chrome browser running on the Windows laptop. It's streaming Adobe Premiere, and I have a Google Chrome browser, and I'll show you a few other apps that I have installed from an Azure NV6 running out of Ashburn over this conference network. So that's the full version of Adobe Premiere that's running on Windows. And as I mentioned before, all I need is an HTML5 compliant web browser. So that could be an iPad. It could be my iPhone, which I was testing here, praying my demo worked. It could be a Mac, Windows. As long as you have an HTML5 compliant browser, we're able to deliver this. What we see a lot of use cases that come in is application augmentation. You have aging endpoint devices, or you have your power users. They have all their fancy 4K monitors all over the place, their GPUs, their expensive tower. But what happens when they go to a building, or they're at home and need to do something quick? They don't have the power on that laptop to do what they need to do. That's where you can install these big apps for those use cases and stream it down to their web browser. They have instantaneous access to on-demand GPUs sitting in the cloud to do what they need to do. Now, you also notice here that I'm running in application mode. There's no taskbar. What we do as Frame is deliver what we call the gear menu, where we put in the other applications that are up here and running so I can move between them and provide access. What's also neat is we have an entire programmable API, so you can integrate with your websites. If you look at companies like SolidWorks, they deliver all of their online trials for SolidWorks, the big engineering application, all via Frame. So you can do this to instantly SaaSify any Windows application that you have for your customers, your potential customers, or your internal employees, whatever you're looking to do with this capability as well. Now, we did hear from our customers that they have a lot of users that they just have to have their taskbar. They just can't get over it. So we do support full desktop mode, where I can add the taskbar right back in for the consumer for whatever they need. Now, when you actually log into Frame for the first time, you're presented with what we call the Launchpad. The Launchpad is just a simple web top of application icons. As soon as I click, I can launch a session. Now, this is fully customizable. You can put whatever icons or whatever you need, or you can leverage our APIs, and you can replace this and put it on your own web portals. You can even create desktop icons that from a single click, it takes them to your SAML provider, say ADFS or Azure AD. They log in, and then they're instantly running whatever application that you publish there for them. Now, what I'm going to do here is also show you a quick overview of the administrator interface that we present to the users, which we call Dashboard. So Dashboard is just your web interface that allows you to access what you need to configure for your consumers. This is what we call the sandbox access. If I click Open Sandbox or Open Desktop, I'll get into that sandbox. I can make any changes I want. From a settings perspective, we provide you the ability to manage production capacities. Now, this is a demo count I'm showing you. But remember when I said scaling from 5 to 10,000 users? That number of instances right there is the one variable you change, and you click Save. As soon as you do that, our entire backend goes to work for you. You never have to log into Azure. We will orchestrate your account on your behalf and spin up those 10,000 VDI instances to be able to support those consumers. We also support dynamic buffers and hot instances. Those allow you to balance cost and performance. So right now, I have my default set to 0. If a user would come in and log in this account, it would take 30 to 90 seconds for them to get a session. I'm waiting on the instance to boot. I can't solve those problems and make it instant. However, what I can do is set a buffer, so there's always something running hot, and then scale that buffer so as one user comes in, our backend automatically makes sure you have a buffer ready and available for your end users to come in to be able to use the service at high performance rates. And I can also, to save cost, put this on a schedule. So you don't want, if I have 10,000 users, I don't want 10,000 instances running all the time. It's going to cost me money. What I want to be able to do is schedule it on nights and weekends. I will tolerate a 30 to 90 second delay. Or I know my user community and populace is on the East Coast, so they're not going to really be using it at night, so I can decrease the buffer. So in these scenarios, you're only paying for the compute that you need to use. And then we also give you analytics on the sessions. We give you, as an administrator, the ability to control what is happening and the user experience for your end users. I can enable and disable cut, copy, paste file transfer. So from a security perspective, one of the use cases we see is isolated browsers. Put a browser in the cloud that has a protocol break between that browser and your local computer. So if your users download malware or get infected, it stays on that ephemeral instance, and as soon as they log out, that malware is gone and your local PC is never affected. Now, for protection of your corporate data, I can prevent file upload, download, print, cut, copy, and paste. So now your risk is down to screen scrape and them taking a picture with their cell phone to protect your data from a corporate enterprise. And I can do it with highly sensitive or big performant apps such as Blender. You saw Adobe Premiere and everything. So that's kind of a quick overview of what we have from Nutanix Frame. As we are now part of the Nutanix family, we're actively working with them on how to better integrate with their different products and service offerings, with more to come over the next couple months that we'll be very excited to announce here very shortly. So key takeaways that I like to remind people from the key taglines, if you remember everything, is run any Windows software in a web browser. We automate the orchestration of your cloud backend in any AWS or Azure region globally. To deliver high-performance computing, and all you need is an HTML5 compiling browser. So thank you, everyone, for taking the time, and we'll be here for questions, but I'll turn it back over to Mike.
All right. Thank you so much, Dave. So I have one more item to discuss, and obviously, last but not least, we'd like to talk about Era. So Era, as I mentioned, as a part of the beginning of the presentation, is our software. It's really an appliance, a virtual machine-based appliance that you would deploy onto your Nutanix environment that has the intelligence to discover your Nutanix cluster and also discover the databases that you would be running within your virtual machines. So we're initially looking to support Oracle as well as Postgres, quickly followed by SQL Server. Not only will Era allow you to deploy instances, so say, for example, you want to create a profile for your network, a profile for your database, a profile for your operating system, and also the size of the virtual machine. You can define that within Era and then go ahead and have it provision that for you, so like an RDS. Today it's all for on-prem, but we are looking to make that capable of doing that style of deployment to the cloud. Once you have that deployment, or if you prefer, you can register an existing virtual machine that you already have running. So you migrated something onto Nutanix, big SQL Server instance. You can register it as it stands with Era, and then you can use Era to manage the life cycle of the data within that database. And more specifically, what we're focusing on is the ability to take snapshots of that database at the database level. If you're familiar with Nutanix, you know that we can take snapshots at the VM level, really as a VM boundary. We do it on a vDisk basis, so we're vDisk aware, but we really do it at the VM level. You put a VM in a production domain, and then we replicate it to Azure like we talked about earlier, another Nutanix cluster for DR, et cetera. What Era allows you to do is to make that more granular down to the database. So we'll install an agent into the host or into that VM. We'll map out specifically what virtual disks is that database using, and then allow you to capture the backup, do an additional log backup, for example. So we'll call into, say, SQL-specific API, specifically VDI, to do a log backup or VSS, and then allow you to take that snapshot and apply it somewhere else. Maybe you have a reporting instance that you want to refresh that's running on a different node in the environment. Maybe you have a developer that wants to operate against the most recent copy of your database to make sure that the queries are running in a certain way, has all the total table count there, et cetera. So it's really those two things, deployment and provisioning, and also lifecycle management from the perspective of snapshotting. So let's go through a quick demo of Nutanix Era. This is another product that is in early access today that's going to be available sometime this year. And specifically for the SQL Server support, this is very early access, and it's going to be available sometime next year. So I'm actually logged into a virtual machine running SQL Server. I actually have 3 databases that I'm querying. You can see the one with the white font here is our production. It has 5.4 million rows. I have a test instance that has 4.8 million. I have a dev instance that has 4.8 million as well. So just keep that in mind as we go along. Production's a little bit ahead of both of our environments here. So I'll go ahead and log into the Era interface. You come straight to our dashboard where you can see your source databases, your number of clones that you have, the number of copies that you have over time, also your space efficiency associated with this. In a lot of storage terms, we like to call these snapshots kind of copy avoidance. So rather than creating an entire clone, when we create our snapshots, it's really what we call a fast clone. So it's an autonomous copy, but it's pointer based, meaning that it's referencing existing data that already exists within our storage fabric. So as you create these snapshots, they're not taking up more space until obviously you start writing, and then we do redirect on write and allocate that data to another place, allowing those snapshots to stay to their specific point in time. As I mentioned, when you go to, say, deploy a specific database, you can choose the type. And if you want to define a source, you can, like I mentioned, you can go ahead and provision that database or register something that's existing. So I actually had a VM that running in another environment. I migrated it over. I registered it within Era here, and that's what you see right here. So this name TPCC is that instance that I registered. When you register a virtual machine or really a database, you can assign it an SLA, and really it's just a service level agreement specifying the schedule, really how frequently am I going to take snapshots of this database, how frequently am I going to take log backups as well. And we call that a time machine. So I already have a time machine assigned to this particular database. I'm going to click on it and you can start to see some of the details. SQL Server, you can see the database name, IP address. You can also see the SLA assigned to this particular time machine, et cetera. If I click on this given time machine, we give you a calendar view of all the snapshots that you've been maintaining over time. So you can go back to any one of these points in time, restore it back to this production instance, or maybe even restore it over to a test and dev or reporting instance. Maybe, if the worst happens, someone actually drops a table or drops specific rows, maybe you want to do a surgical repair, go ahead and mount that snapshot up to another instance, pull out what you want, inject it back into that production database copy. In this case, I know that my production was constantly doing inserts, so if I want to get the latest version of it, I can either wait for the schedule to run through, but I can also take a snapshot on demand. So I'll go ahead and do that as call it Ignite demo. Go ahead and create it. So that'll kick off a job that's going to communicate directly into that Windows-based virtual machine running SQL Server. As the agent communicates, it's going to discover where that database lives, its underlying file system for that specific database. It's going to prepare that database, and really in this world, we're going to do a freeze-thaw operation. We'll call into VDI VSS that'll freeze the database at a SQL Server level. It's actually, when you call those APIs, you're actually integrating into a backup API. So you can specify if this is a full backup, meaning that if you then take differentials on top, they'll be incremental from that point. After a full, a differential is incremental. So it really backs into that API. And after the freeze, after the freeze, we take a snapshot, and after the snapshot, we do a thaw. So you would expect all these operations to be very quick as they were. So now we have an additional item as a part of our time machine. So we have the most up-to-date snapshot for that particular database. So now if we wanted to, we can go ahead and start to apply it to another server in the system. So for example, if I wanted to go to one of my databases, and maybe this time I want to focus on one of my clones, I have my two clones here. This represents my test and development instances that you saw. Again, you see those kind of queries running in the background. So I'll go ahead and select one of them. Maybe we'll select this instance here. This happens to be our development instance. And so you know what? I want to go ahead and hit refresh. So I want to take that latest snapshot that we had just taken. Here's our Ignite demo that we just created, and go ahead and hit refresh. Now this is a multi-tenant operation. That means that you don't necessarily have to have an administrator come in and do this for you, or the owner of the Nutanix platform, or your infrastructure administrator. This could be a DBA. So a DBA could come in and decide, hey, you know what? This is the time I want to go ahead and refresh a database based on what I have available to me and on my own schedule. There's also APIs that support these operations. So if it's something that you wanted to script or write a program for, you can absolutely do that as well. So you can see we've gone through the pre-processing step. We're going ahead and shut down the database. So if I quickly go back to our screen, we should see, yep, there's my development instance that's now offline because we're refreshing that copy. as it goes. So that SQL query that was otherwise going into it is timing out. And as you can imagine, we're, again, discovering that copy of the database that we're going to refresh. We're detaching it from SQL. We're unmanning the file system. We're removing the virtual disks. We're then taking that clone, if you will, that fast clone that I mentioned, assigning it back to the virtual machine and reversing that process, mounting the file system, attaching the database, and bringing it online. You can see we've recovered the snapshot. And now we have up-to-date data matching our production environment with the 5.4 million rows. So it's really, this is a completely live demo. It really happened that fast. So hopefully that gives you an idea of how quickly this can occur. And it's really just that fast of an operation regardless of the size of the database because it's all based on snapshots. All right. So hopefully that gives you a very good overview of where Nutanix is heading when it comes to cloud services, multi-cloud management, multi-cloud orchestration, focus on applications like virtual desktop and like SQL Server as well. I know a lot of you are familiar with Nutanix more from an HCI perspective and might have specific questions on where are we going with our storage fabric or maybe hypervisor support and other things. So we have lots of time for questions. So I'm going to ask the Daves to come up to, in case you have any specific questions for all of us. But please fill out your evaluation. Really appreciate the feedback. We actually made this presentation the way it is based on feedback we had from all of you last year. The feedback was we focused on HCI too much, and we wanted to hear more about where we're going with multi-cloud, Azure, et cetera. So we wanted to make sure that was an ideal focus. But again, if you have any questions on anything else Nutanix, please hop up to a mic, or I can repeat the question so we get it on the live feed. No?
Hey, what's up? So, question about the era. When you're doing the refresh on dev, is there a way to, or do you guys plan on supporting some way to grab the current state of dev prior to the refresh?
So the question is there a way to grab the state of dev prior to doing the refresh? I believe so. It's not something I can guarantee you that will be in V1 or the version that supports SQL Server, but I believe we're going to have the capability of adding a target also as a source, so that you'd be able to take a snapshot of it before go ahead and refreshing from the opposite. So that's a very good use case and something we'll look to support, absolutely. Yep, thank you.
So if you have a company that's focused on controlling their brand or UIs that their customers interface with, for example, maybe we have a lot of self-service things through ServiceNow, is there an opportunity for Frame's application delivery or content consumption be integrated with ServiceNow so that we don't have to jump our potential customers to different UIs?
Yeah. Can you hear me? There we go. So from a Frame perspective, what you're able to do with our APIs is you can call it from whatever workflow that you want so that you can automatically open up an app right away. So one of our customers, Nimble Collective, is a 3D animation company. What they've built is a complete web-based content management system. As soon as you click a button, like I want to edit this file, it calls our APIs, and then all of a sudden Blender pops up with that file open for them to edit and use. So then you never have to go to a Frame interface or whatever. And as soon as you click disconnect, it saves a file right back for them. So some of the customers for ServiceNow, you have to edit a Word document. Rather than downloading and uploading it again, you could call our API and open that Word document in a Word for them and save it right back into ServiceNow.
And do you have explicit integrations with ServiceNow?
No. It's not explicit with ServiceNow. It's just through our APIs. They're just generally REST APIs that are open that you could call.
Actually, I got a couple Beam-related questions. I think they're related. Hold on. So does Beam do costing for on-prem? And then is there a way that I can filter and view by business unit for my costs and my security controls?
Yes, so for the on-prem answer, we just added that. I would have demoed it had the account been fully connected, but it was just recently announced and recently released. So the same way you would see Azure, AWS, et cetera, within that view, there would be a Nutanix button. And that would show you your current on-prem spend, also give you recommendation on how to grow the environment, what models, et cetera, based on current usage. There are ways to tie back to cost center or even business unit. So maybe you saw as a part of the demo when you have an enterprise account, there's the subscriptions underneath that, and then those subscriptions could be assigned to a given account. But there are times where you might have given services that are being used that might be related to a business unit, but it's not tied to that subscription. So we do have a way to capture that by creating really a user or a group, and then saying this is their subscription, but then here's all these other items that are associated with them that aren't otherwise captured that should fall into their cost center or their budget.
Is it RBAC enabled that I can have that dashboard that's presented back to the business, but they can only see the pieces that they're responsible for?
Correct. So the question is it RBAC enabled, and then can you limit it just to that business unit? And the answer is yes. So you can restrict it to a specific users what they'd be able to see. Yep.
What's really cool with cloud-based resources, when we enabled it on Frames accounts, when we joined Nutanix, we tag everything per customer. So we have a vendor ID. So I quickly went in, I said, I want to split cost centers by vendor ID. It knew every unique vendor ID, and automatically I had cost centers for every single one of our customers.
Only interface with Azure, or can you do on-prem?
So today we support AWS and Azure with more details coming about orchestrating from our cloud backplane on AHV workloads. Will be coming out around .next in London, which is in November.
Based on your reference architecture, are any of those capabilities AHV only, or do they support cross-hypervisor for the on-prem components?
For Beam specifically?
I would say anything at that platform level on up.
Sure. So I mean, it'd be a long list to try to go through all of them, but like what we talked about today, Beam, I believe, does not care. I think Beam is hypervisor agnostic. It does not care about what you're doing on-prem. Era, for example, is ESXi and AHV. I think you mentioned Frame would be most likely AHV or...
Well, it's AWS and Azure today with AHV and Xi coming as part of the roadmap.
COM is ESX and AHV as well.
Other questions?
Anything else? All right, well, thanks so much. If you have anything else, please join us down in the expo hall. We'll be there for a few more hours, and thanks a lot for your time.